and welcome in to another edition of the Lectures Revisited, where I, a stutterer, practice my speech by saying some of my favorite speeches of all time. Today's speech is a little bit different, but they all are. But it is by one of my favorite thinkers and orators of all time, Terence McKenna. If you haven't heard of him, check him out. I guarantee you've never heard anything like him before in your life. And as all things, keep an open mind. Just speeches. And today's speech is an excerpt from a longer speech, which I actually haven't been able to find yet. But this speech, excerpt, is jam-packed 7 minutes. And it is called "The World is Made of Language." Therefore, without any further ado, let's begin. There are two theories about how the world works, and each one depends on a fundamental assumption about what the world is. There's the scientific theory which says the world is tiny packets of matter squealing along through empty space at close to the speed of light and subject to a certain set of interlocking laws. That's what science tells us the world is. Another theory is, and to my mind, a much more appealing and even intuitively correct theory, is the world is language. The world is made of language. We can say that the world is composed of little demons doing calisthenics, each one the size of a pissant's eyebrow. Or we can say the world is made out of wave mechanical packets of matter flying along at the speed of light. But notice, what we get each time is words. Our model of what the world is made of words. And the world is composed of description. Now, in the era before science, scientists like to say people were more epistemologically naive. What they mean by that is they didn't have a clear understanding of the division between the inside and the outside, between what we imagine and what actually is. But if you live long enough, I think you discover what we imagine and what actually is are very close to the same thing. Now, whenever you say the world is made of language, the positivist object by saying, now, why isn't it the way we say it is? Didn't say it is the way we say it is. I said it is made of language. And part of the inspiration for my career is the realization that to get up in front of an audience and say how the world is, and to a small degree, for a limited time in a limited space, it shimmers and recasts itself and becomes the thing that we say that it is. The mind is somehow a co-creator in the process of reality through acts of language, and language is very, very mysterious. I mean, it is true magic. People run all over the place looking for paranormal abilities, but notice when I speak, if your internal dictionary matches my internal dictionary, that my thoughts cross through the air as an acoustical pressure wave and are reconstructed inside your cerebral cortex as your thought and your understanding of my words. They perfectly exist. It's just that the carrier wave is small mouth noises. All so-called primitive people know that the world is made of language, that you sing it into existence, that what you say it is what it is. But it is maintained in existence by an act of rational apprehension, and it is only science which has taken this very weird approach and said, oh no, the world is somehow independent from the act of description. And this is not a situation where we have two separate points of view, both open-hearted and trying their best to work hard for you. Science carried out its analysis of nature to the point where it shot itself in the foot. Science carried out an analysis of nature that went to such depth that it discovered that nature doesn't exist except as an object of description. There are no little objects winging their way through empty space. There is only a situation describable by a multi-level fishy formula. And when you drop a mind into that situation, the fishy formula condenses out into a particle which can be measured. The mind is necessary for the world to undergo the formality of existing. This is what quantum physics teaches us. Unfortunately, this news has not reached the other sciences. This is a real failure on the part of science. You see, throughout the 19th century, physics was the paradigmatic science. It was the science everybody envied. It's not unusual in physics for theory and experiment to be congruent to 3 decimal points of accuracy. That just causes scientists to go wild. They love that when theory and measurement fall into congruency like that. So everyone wanted to be like physics. Chemistry sought that, sociology sought that, psychology, biology. Meanwhile, physics, pursuing the exploration of matter, broke through to a domain where matter ceased to be definable, ceased to even exist in an ordinary way, seemed to behave in incredibly strange ways. Time flows backwards. Energy crosses barriers without ever even going through them, by tunneling through them. That's what modern biology is still afflicted with physics envy. Meanwhile, physics has gone on to a realm of such exotic and surreal uncertainty, it's at this point to the left of psychology in the precision of its metaphors. So science has undercut itself and now exists in a state of unrecognizable crisis that hopefully the psychedelic experience will exacerbate to the point where this will arrive on the plate of every experimental and observational scientist. End of speech. Woo! That's hard. Because he both talks monotonously and at a mono pace. He has a mono pace and he talks the same way the whole time. And because I'm listening to it, I found myself speeding up, slowing down. It's a challenge to keep that same cadence the whole time, especially because he's speaking with extremely big words at times and bending language in a way that I assume also turned off a lot of people listening. Remember, keep an open mind. Just words. The world is made of language. Thank you. This is this edition of Lectures Revisit.